Hey all, welcome to SLB Basement Bourbon Bar. My name is Kurt and this is...
Grandpa Paul.
There you go. This is my father-in-law, Paul, who we affectionately call
Grandpa Paul.
Thank you so much for joining us today. And the reason why he is here is because today we're going to follow our little series here of the dry January and zero alcohol spirits. So today I have a whiskey cocktail, tequila cocktail, and a gin cocktail, all mixed with zero alcohol spirits because Paul has chosen a life of sobriety.
Sobriety.
Yes.
But I haven't been drinking any alcohol for over 46 years.
Wow, 46 years?
46. It's a long time.
That's a long time.
But I just don't need any alcohol.
That's right.
But it doesn't bother me to be around it.
That's right. Now, I have a question to ask you before we dig in. Trenton brought this up when we were taste testing some of the zero alcohol whiskeys. And he was even mentioning it's good to have a few options of zero alcohol cocktails for those that are visiting so they can feel a part of what's going on. Is that how you would feel?
Sure. Now I generally drink my ginger ale, but sometimes I would like something a little different to be more with the party.
Yeah, and I get that completely. So Paul does have experience with alcohol years ago, so I want you to give me your honest opinions of how these cocktails taste to you.
All right.
Because that's why you're here. And what I did, now some of these, Trenton, I had to tweak some of the recipes a little bit. I worked on them a little bit more even after you left last night. So in order to balance them, in my opinion, correctly, I had to add a little more and a little less of one thing or the other in certain recipes to try to get it the best I can for you.
Good deal.
So the first one that I want you to try is this whiskey cocktail.
Okay.
So what this is a Gold Rush cocktail. Normally, if you're mixing with an alcohol spirit, it's 2 ounces of bourbon, 3/4 ounce of lemon juice, and 3/4 ounces of honey syrup. Now, for this particular non-alcohol spirit, what I found is it really doesn't hold its weight very well in cocktails. So when I mixed that particular recipe, it felt to me that the lemon juice was very strong. So what I did is I mixed 2.5 ounces of this non-alcoholic whiskey, the Monday, and then I put in a full ounce of honey syrup, but I kept the 3/4 ounce of lemon juice. So, and just for you, Paul, I put a little bit of a lemon peel in there for you. Make it look nice and fancy.
Taking a nice taste.
Yeah.
We got an ice cube in there.
I got a nice little ice sphere for you.
Isn't that cool?
That almost looks as fancy as you do tonight.
He does have his SLB shirt on under that.
Yes, he does. He's ready. Boom. That's what I'm talking about.
Boy, that's pretty tasty.
I thought so. Now,
Pretty tasty.
honestly,
You got the lemon. You taste the lemon, and you can taste the honey.
now my question to you, but the reason why I add a little bit more, do you sense a little bit of the whiskey flavor?
Yes.
Yeah,
I can,
just a little bit, right?
yeah, I wouldn't normally find in any other drink. So I do feel the taste of the whiskey.
Good.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Pretty tasty drink.
So that one's a thumbs up so far.
Definitely. Thumbs up.
Wonderful. Let's move to the tequila cocktail. And we all know one of Bushy's favorite cocktails
Oh, yes.
is a margarita.
Bushy is my wife, Rebecca's mom, Kurt's mother-in-law, and Trenton's Bushy.
That's right, Trenton. That's exactly right. So we're going to be mixing this particular margarita in a Tommy's margarita recipe. And I picked that because it's pretty simple.
Okay.
All right. Now we're going to be using this bottle here, which is a Ritual Tequila Alternative Zero Proof. And what I found out with this, Trenton, after I was messing with it too last night, this has a flavor more of an añejo or a reposado. And what I mean by that, Paul, is if it's a reposado or an añejo tequila, it's barrel aged for a little period of time. So it has a little bit of that flavor going on, which I like. I like that a lot. So with this one, I kept the original recipe. It seemed like it worked out great for me. So it has 2 ounces of this tequila, the zero alcohol tequila. It has 1 ounce of lime juice and a 1/2 ounce of agave syrup. And I asked Paul ahead of time, and he said he would like salt on the rim.
Right.
And we did that too. So have at it and see what you think of this particular margarita.
Pretty cool.
Yes, it is.
You did a good job.
I got a lot of salt.
You can take 2 sips, one without
Yeah.
the salt then.
Yeah.
Now what I did do as well, I thought it needed a little bit of salt. So not the salt on the rim, but I put a tiny few drops of saline solution in there too to kind of give, to give that feel of
So
an
besides
actual
the
margarita.
tequila, what is there?
There's 2 ounces of this tequila, 1 ounce of lime juice, and a half an ounce of the syrup, agave syrup, and a couple drops of saline solution.
Because the lime comes through,
Definitely.
and I don't remember what tequila tastes like,
That's okay.
but you can taste it. You can taste the alcohol.
Yeah.
The alcohol taste.
Do you feel that needs a little bit more sweetener in there? That was a little bit
A
questionable.
little bit would be okay, but it doesn't need it.
Yeah, okay, good.
And
Good.
I'd say that's a
Good.
That's a thumbs up too.
Good, because I stuck with that. I tasted it a few times, Paul, and I mixed it
Yeah.
a few different ways, and I just felt the original recipe went pretty well for this one.
It's tasty.
Good. We're going to move on to the last one.
Okay.
This one is called Sultans of Sling. So it's kind of a play on a Singapore
Singapore.
sling.
Little, okay.
Yeah. So you recall that
I can
that
recall.
particular cocktail.
Yes.
Yeah. So this one here has a few different ingredients in it. It's very fruit juicy. So it does have 1.5 ounces of your 0 proof gin. It has 1 ounce of pineapple. All right. It has 3/4 ounces of orange juice, and it has a 1/2 ounce of lime juice and also a 1/2 ounce of honey syrup again. So quite a few different things in this particular cocktail, kind of fruit juice forward.
And then with the gin.
Yep. And I also provided you a little garnish of a
little
pineapple.
garnish of a pineapple.
How about
I
that?
like pineapple.
There you go. How about that?
Me and pineapple are friends.
Oh, you should be. It's very good.
That's almost as good enough for breakfast. That's very good.
It is, isn't
That's
it?
very tasty.
Now, I will tell you, Paul, as you take your second sip, I really couldn't find the gin flavor in there, the botanicals of a proper gin and things like that, but I don't really think it's necessary. I just think it's a solid, well-balanced.
you have the
cocktail.
more of the flavor of the juices,
Right. And that's okay, because it's a nice fruity type cocktail.
and that's a thumbs up too.
Yeah, so they all went pretty well, I think.
They all went well. It was any one of them you wouldn't sit down at a bar or a cocktail lounge with your friends and have one along with them and say, hey,
Yeah.
this is a pretty good
Yeah,
deal.
and I think it's important. I think it's important to be supportive with all your friends and family that choose not to drink.
Oh,
Period.
sure.
You need to be supportive for that. Because for whatever reasons, that's their choice. And they have a right to that
Right.
choice. So in order to make them feel welcome and a part of what you're doing, I think things like this is a real neat way to go to be able to make that person
Well, it's a nice way to go to be a part of something rather than just a cola or a ginger ale or
correct.
an orange.
Right. I completely and 100% agree with that. So Trenton is writing on the dry eraser board right now to give me. Go ahead.
I'm trying to be silent.
You're
back here.
professional. You're being professional, sir. He's let me know to make sure to remind you of our live show. Paul and Bushi have been unbelievably supportive of Trent and I and SLB Drinks.
Right.
Absolutely. And they've went to extreme in helping us, in our endeavor with the channel. And they are also celebrating with us that we hit that 100,000
Oh, you
subscriber
bet.
mark.
That was
So
pretty darn neat.
that was really unbelievable. And I know both of us more than anybody. We're very humble and very gracious about that, and we will stay that way. We're very thankful to each and every one of you. It's just amazing that even happened.
It's really good to meet those milestones in your career, in your special endeavor here, and that's
Yeah,
really neat.
Yeah. So our live show is going to be this Friday at 8 p.m. Central. It's going to be a 100,000 subscriber celebration. Not quite sure exactly what we're going to do or how we're going to go about it, but I know Trenton's got a couple of bottles that'll blow your mind as far as a giveaway is concerned. Paul, I thank you so much for taking the time to be down here and to do this with me. I thought you were the perfect choice to help me determine whether these were going to be acceptable or not, and I'm glad you liked them.
Oh, I've enjoyed it immensely, and I'm glad that I could be a part of it.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, buddy. Appreciate you. All right, that's it for today, boy. Thanks so much. Tune in Friday. We'll be back to our regularly scheduled type programs. We're going to be testing out 2 brand new bourbons that are under $50. So we're going to see if they're worth it or not. As always,
Nozdrovia.
yes, sir. As always, we ask you to please drink responsibly. We'll see you next time, right down here with Trent and I, and Paul if he wants to, in the good old basement bourbon bar. See you later.